Like Gwen has said, I'm going to talk about creating digital resources, but I'm also going to cover some other pieces that relate to some trends in what's happening in e-learning in the wider space. And yeah, I am 25 years working in e-learning. It was originally called CBT, computer-based training, and when I started, all the graphics were actually made up of characters, ASCII characters. So that goes back a long time. So I've actually named this presentation sort of an e-learning miscellany because I'm actually switching and moving between a few different pieces, and I am showing some tools on here, and I'm happy to reference and talk to anybody more about some of the free tools. Okay. So just in the topics that I want to cover today, I'm just going to talk about some high-quality, free, low-cost training that is available, and look at some of the formats of that content and how it can be created maybe by yourselves for your own platforms and learning systems. I'm going to talk about Khan Academy. I'm not sure if any of you will have heard of it, but it's quite a big thing now in the States, and I'll be going into that some more. I'll be showing Sample Screen Recorder, actually two of them, showing how to do some screen recordings, and really a lot of content that is being developed on the web is really based around screen recordings and around characters and good teachers producing good content and expressing it well in good forms. I'll look at a Web 2 classroom example that I actually got in the UK, very kindly shared by Bath University with me, and just talking about how Web 2 may be used in the classroom, so a classroom example there. And then some more comments then about the use of iPad and how it is being used in the education space mostly. Hasn't really got strong foothold yet in the corporate space, and there's some reasons behind that, but I'll talk about that as well. So I'm going to dip below this every now and again for a little slug of water because I'm going to get quite dry. But I'll start with the first piece. Free, high-quality, low-cost training. Sort of four different sites I want to go into here. And we're all familiar with YouTube and how it started off with 6 or 7 years ago. Really is kind of a you being framed sort of website of lots of comedy and funny things going on, and expanded to doing sports and maybe other news links and things like that. But it's come a long, long way, and I'm not sure how many of you have been looking at YouTube's education channels, and I'm just going to go into them here. I think I have it. I'm going to actually start a new link here. Sorry, one sec. Just wait for the browser to catch up on me. Okay. No, that's not YouTube anyway. I mightn't be able to show that one though. So under YouTube Education is basically a number of academies of lectures that are being delivered by universities in the United States, predominantly. There are international ones there as well. A lot of lectures being delivered. A lot of high-quality lecturers delivering high-quality lectures to live audiences in colleges and universities. And those lectures are being shared under the Creative Commons license to the internet and therefore to the public. It's a very interesting sort of development, and actually kind of can throw your head a bit in a spin in terms of, well, what does that mean for education generally? But I'm just going to talk about it a little bit and maybe just look at some examples. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down here, and I'm going to go to MIT. MIT would have been one of the pioneers of what we'd call Opencourseware. And I think they had their 10th anniversary of Opencourseware recently, and in their Opencourseware initiative they have been releasing lectures from many different courses that they have in live video streams over the internet. Okay, I'm just going to look for, so MIT Opencourseware News, I think it might be under this one, celebrating a decade of, is it under here?
The following content is provided under a Creative
I'll just
Commons
pause that.
license.
And there's a link here to the Opencourseware site that they have. Okay. if I go into courses, MIT, Opencourseware, they're all hosted on YouTube, but there's a separate site that MIT Opencourseware has. And I just go into, I'm going to choose chemistry here, I think. Chemistry, all right. Okay, so chemistry, you can see there's lectures here for the different sessions that are delivered for, I suppose, maybe a chemistry first year. They're recordings from different years of first years, so fall 2008, spring 2005, spring 2010. Overall, it does make up, I think, the full series of lectures that would be given, but it's not a continuous course, and it's not a course that people can take start to finish and therefore get a degree. But it's interesting, and it's only the beginning. So MIT are doing that. It's being done by Berkeley University as well, and by other big names. I'm going to go to this website that was showing an error there a minute ago. They said earlier on this morning that the website was going to be up in an hour, and oh good, it was showing an error earlier there. Academic Earth is actually containing online courses from lecturers in universities for full courses, for the whole year, for the current year. So students can attend remotely courses and lectures being given by universities in the United States, completely remotely attending those lectures. Are those students actually paying the fee and doing the exercises and the assignments? Well, they could. You know, there's no reason why that couldn't happen, and the universities would be happy to take the money for them to pay for the accreditation. So remote attendance of live delivered classroom is actually happening now. And that's quite a big break, because that means that there's more of an opportunity for students to move towards the quality lectures and maybe some of the more premier type degrees that are being delivered out there. Okay? So I think that can be a bit groundbreaking, and you know, when is that going to come here, and how will it affect the overall piece? I don't know. But I think that's interesting, an interesting development. And I'm going to link to that now sort of on my next piece. Actually, there's a couple of sites I just want to show first, okay? So there was these guys, Udacity.com, just to hammer home that message just about what's happening in the university space. Udacity.com, there's a chap here who's a lecturer in Stanford. What's Stanford? Sorry. I think an artificial intelligence lecturer. Well, you know, I think he's a professor. Sebastian Strom is his name. He resigned at the end of last year on the basis that he was doing a presentation. Actually, I'm going to give you the information here. He was doing a presentation on artificial intelligence on the internet, and he got an audience of, I know it's hard to believe this, 110,000 students. Now, this was recorded presentations. This isn't a live delivery, okay? It became recorded presentations. But between him and his colleague, they qualified, I think it was 100,000 people in artificial intelligence, maybe it's a 4 or 5 hour module, okay, by delivering their class live. He has such a name in artificial intelligence that he would get an audience like that. I mean, that sounds like the whole audience in the world to me. I don't know the scale of things. But, you know, for that particular subject. But it's quite awesome to think that that kind of thing can happen. And actually, I think I have a link here, and I think it might explain it a bit better. And I don't want to lose time too much just going off into some details here. But, you know, there's a point around it. I'll just go into Facebook here. There's a message around it. Oh, no, I'll forget it. Sorry, it's too slow. Okay, so that's the point. So they set up Udacity. Udacity is I think he's Swiss actually, though he was teaching in Stanford, so maybe they're American-based. But they are offering degrees online and basically becoming an online university and delivering all their lectures live. So with that kind of capacity and infrastructure in universities in the US, and maybe it's going to be happening more and more here, effectively for every attended session that you have, students attending a lecture, that you would have a camera in the background for students remotely to be attending that same lecture. That's a possibility now and is happening. Okay? Okay. It's going here. And I wanted to link to that as well in terms of the kind of content that is there. And I'm going to talk next about Khan Academy, but this website here, lynda.com, I use this website myself in my own business, in my own consultancy, because you know, I do some work with Moodle and you know, working with e-learning and lots of different applications. And with lynda.com, I would often, I suppose, and my colleagues would often have, I'm just going to see if I have the link here, my colleagues would often be requested to do some training on Moodle to introduce new clients into how to work with Moodle, okay? In that scenario, we typically ask the clients to actually go through a website like this for taking the training, because it's e-learning, it's learning how to operate Moodle as a student or as a teacher, and the videos are very well put together. There's no point in me spending a day with a client or one of my colleagues spending a day with a client or half a day with a client going through Moodle basics. You know, the client can spend 300 or 400 euro maybe doing that with me. With a site like this, it's 25 euro per month, you know? So there's a cost benefit there as well. And we build on that learning, and it remains there as a reference for them. Okay, so you would go in here and maybe search up Moodle. Okay, anyway, Moodle, there's some Moodle courses in there. I don't want to just go through the search and launch that one. Actually, the first video I want to show you is one that links to the next part of my presentation. Okay, so just summarizing a point there, a lot of content being delivered live. The ability to deliver live video-based high-quality lecturing content is much more affordable now and is being done by universities. So there is very large amounts out there. This will affect the corporate classroom space as well, and some companies are already looking at the quality of content that is on the internet and maybe not hiring as much expertise from the outside. They're looking at that content and having in-house trainers facilitate, did I spell that right, the program, you know? So, you know, maybe the content is better than what you might get locally sometimes too. But, you know, not always the case, but it's happening and moving in that direction. And what effect might this have on third level training? Well, MIT are actually now awarding certificates for online programs, okay? So those certificates can add up to degrees or degree points eventually. So you can actually, maybe over time, be able to compete with just online training versus attended degree training. And anyway, as we know already, there are online degrees being achieved with e-learning as it stands, but maybe not in as rich a delivered format as I've just been showing. Okay, I want to talk about Khan Academy. Break. Sorry. Okay, so Khan Academy is a Bill Gates Foundation-sponsored organization, and this man, Samuel Khan, is a top teacher. He's a sponge for knowledge, actually. And he can teach anything. It's weird. He actually teaches everything. And I don't know how he understands things and how he actually absorbs it and then delivers it, but he does. And it's weird. And so I'm just going to show you some of what he's been doing. But let me see, for me to put it in an Irish context, you know the way Aircom has the school hub on their service? This seems to be a free version of that school hub for everybody, okay? He does lots of 10 or 15 minute nuggets on a blackboard using chalk and talking entertainingly, well, sometimes a bit fast, and it might take a little bit of time to get used to his way of speaking in terms of how he delivers. But it's quite a rave in the States, so I'm just going to go into it and show you. Is this it here? Okay, let me see. Sorry, just want to make sure I'm choosing the right one here. I am. Okay, so these are all the subjects. Now I'm actually going to get my son to do the algebra, and I might do it myself before him. They're all 10 or 15 minute nuggets of training. So I'm not sure if if there's a good one here. Let me see. I think I picked one earlier on, and I'm not seeing it now. So I'm going to just choose one randomly, so you can see the style of what it is, and we shall do x and y intercepts of a graph. All right. I think this should carry fine. So the format of delivering this video, I'm going to go through that as well, as to how it can be created and what some of the tools are here, because I think actually creating digital resources that which captures your knowledge very precisely articulated for learners to understand and deliver that training is a great skill to have, to be able to deliver it, and just to be able to use some free tools to do that would be great. So I'm just going to show that a bit as well. But let's have a look at how it looks and sounds from this guy.
We have the equation negative 5x plus 4y.
Sorry, this has gone straight into heavy stuff.
20, and we're told to find the intercepts of this equation. So we have to find the intercepts.
He's using a virtual whiteboard
and then use the
software piece
to graph,
for actually recording his presentations here.
So
he uses lots of different colors of chalk. He's actually using a tablet, a separate tablet, which is pressure-based tablet. So the writing that's on the screen there, it's actually got character in it because you're seeing the different widths of it. It's not like it's typed content, so it actually feels like it's got character. So there's a good soft feel about it in terms of presentation.
I'm not above or below
talking over him.
The x-axis. So the x-axis, let me write this
Okay,
down.
it goes like that. It probably wasn't the best one to choose, but it's pretty interesting. And there's a piece here, not that one. Hard to get to all the different ones. I have it here then. I want to show you what he's actually doing in Los Altos in California. Is this it? Okay. Yeah. So in Los Altos in California, so it's thousands, I think it was 2,300 nuggets of learning there. Sorry, I'm going to stop that. 2,300 nuggets of learning. I'm going to fast forward to, sorry, my notes are 11 minutes, 13 seconds. And just before I play it.
We have about...
Where are we? Nearly. Okay. Okay, from here. Now I'll just explain it first. So with all of those nuggets, he's now got a collaboration with Los Altos district, I suppose in California or so. And what's happening now is that they are using his videos as 50% of the maths curriculum, okay? Using them as 50% of the maths curriculum. That means that the kids are going into school and they're actually learning the videos and going through the videos, okay? And then doing exercises after the videos that are supplied through his site, okay? And based on their completion of the exercises, the system will tell the teacher if the student understands that material or not, okay? So I'm going to let him explain the rest of it, but I think it's actually changing the way that we look at teaching, okay? So down the road a bit for here, we're a bit behind, but anyway, they're only starting out there. Have a look at it though.
And so what I'm showing you here, this is actually data from a pilot in the Los Altos School District where they took 2 5th grade classes and 2 7th grade classes and completely gutted their old math curriculum. These kids aren't using textbooks, they're not getting one-size-fits-all lectures. They're doing Khan Academy, they're doing that software for roughly half of their math class. And I want to make it clear, we don't view this as a complete math education. What it does is, and this is what's happening in Los Altos, it frees up time. This is the blocking and tackling, making sure you know how to do the system of equation, and it frees up time for the simulations, for the games, for the mechanics, for the robot building, for the estimating how high that hill is based on its shadow. And so the paradigm is the teacher walks in every day, every kid works at their own pace, and a teacher this is actually a live dashboard from Los Altos School District, and they look at this dashboard. Every row is a student. Every column is one of those concepts. Green means the student's already proficient. Blue means that they're working on it, no need to worry. Red means they're stuck. And what the teacher does is literally just says, Let me intervene on the red kids. Or even better, let me
Okay, I
get
think
one
you
of
get
the
the
green
point.
kids who are already proficient in that.
So it's a change in the model. You know, it's that the teacher comes in and is facilitating the class and looking for who's blocked where and moving to that user and that student to take them through those exercises, and the students can move through the other pieces, and the teacher sees how the progress is all the way through the class. Now that's 50% of the maths curriculum, but it's quite a nice trend, and it's quite student focused because it means that maybe the students can move along at the same pace realistically than others getting caught behind in the class. So they're taking all that on board, okay? So that's a little bit of a sort of things are changing on education, and I've done a couple of slides on that. And I just want to show you maybe how does he create some of his nuggets. And actually the example that I have here, and maybe you could look at it yourselves, I thought it was interesting because he won't buy a house in the States. He wants to rent, and he actually has a whole little nugget here which explains how renting is better than buying, because he's done all the calculations and stuff, and I think he's saying that the market's still going down anyway. But it's useful to look at. So there's two pieces of free software here that are used. Smooth Draw 3 and Camstudio open source. Okay, I have them on this machine here, and I have a pretty rudimentary example that I'm going to show you. So Smooth Draw 3 then, and they're both open source, is a virtual whiteboard application for PCs. Okay, so it allows me just to use many different pencil styles, different colors, different erasers, etc. And basically doodle and draw my way through a lesson for 15 minutes, 20 minutes longer if needs. So because I don't have a tablet here, I can only doodle and draw with the mouse pad. So this is pretty rough here, my 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 3 + 3, okay? But I've put them up there, and I'm just going to show you then how Camstudio would interact with this now. It's rudimentary enough, but the quality is really within the quality of the delivery, the content, and what you're explaining, and how well it's reinforced by the material. So in practice terms, Camstudio, I'm just going to load it up here, sorry. So Camstudio Recorder. There are a number of different recorders. I'm going to show you another recorder on the next slide as well. Did that load? I don't see it there. What's that? One sec. Camstudio Recorder. Must be here somewhere. Hello? No, no, no. Oh. Okay, one sec now. I'm going to be, sorry. Hello? Start Task Manager. Give it to me. I had it running earlier on, so I'm not sure if it's able to run multiple instances or if I'm just not seeing where it is on screen. Processes, Camstudio, where is it? Image name. Okay. It just doesn't seem to be loading on me. Just close that. It'll come now. I'm very confident. That's why I keep trying instead of moving on. All right, Camstudio. What's that? That's it there, is it? No. Now show it to me. No. It just won't show. I actually had it running. Anyway. I'm going to, I'll run the next screen recorder, and I'll run it on this as well. So Camstudio is just another version. The next screen recorder is actually a Web 2 version. Camstudio is one that you download and install. It's very intuitive, very easy to use. It's freeware. The next one is also freeware. So, you know, they're pretty much the same in terms of what they do. But actually, the next one has more functionality. So I'm going to talk about a Screencast-O-Matic. Okay, and I go to this site. So Screencast-O-Matic the basic version is free, and then they charge you the princely sum of $12 a year for some extra features that are pretty good. So we'll look at those. Okay, Screencast-O-Matic. I suppose give it to me. Just a bit slow loading up here. Not sure if I have too much running. Okay, so I'm logged in on this already. Okay, Screencast-O-Matic.com. It's kind of a long old name. But come on, scroll. Okay, just show you the features here. Now, there's many different free screen recorders. There's Jing, there's Screen-O. These would be e-learning specific ones. Screencast-O-Matic is probably generally used, not just in e-learning. Jing and Screen-O have 5-minute limits on them. They're by two separate e-learning companies. Screencast-O-Matic is a one-off. The company isn't necessarily known as an e-learning company. So on the free version, it's a 15 minutes maximum record time. On the Pro $12 per year version, there's no limit on how long. You can publish to YouTube. You can even so you can turn on your webcam and it'll record the webcam picture for you, so you can have your face on screen and the blackboard there if you want to do that. And then further down, it shows you in blue some of the extra features there as well. It's pretty professional at the advanced stage because it allows you to put scripts together and get your timing much more accurate. So scripts being that you pre-record your audio and then drop your audio in at the right points in a presentation, of a Blackboard presentation or some other presentation, which is a recorded screen cam. So you can drop it in and get much more punchy. So with that kind of flexibility, it allows you to produce very professional type screen recordings. So if I were to go here and choose Start Recording, okay, it runs on Java. So it's Web 2, so you're not installing anything other than a Java applet that you would run, okay? And it'll just load that up for me here. Just a bit slow. Okay, so there it is. Screencast-O-Matic. So if I go and switch to here, okay, I'm going to set a region on my screen that I'm going to record, which is really just around the equivalent of one of those sums on that screen. Okay, I'm not going to record my voice, so I'll just leave it off because I don't want to put the voice on it this time. And I could turn on the webcam. I won't do that. I'll just do a recording here. Okay. And I'm not recording my voice on it anyway, but in terms of what's being recorded here, I'm just going to show that using then the whiteboard, you know, I can show, okay, 1 + 1 = 2. But you know, in the style of, as they do in the old Blue Peter shows and stuff like that, and here's one I did earlier, you can do this kind of thing. So you're scrolling in things that you have previously done in other areas of the, oops, I didn't get my area right there. So you can bring that kind of thing in. So you can pre-prepare your presentations, have your content around there, and be bringing it into to a small regional area. Be doing your audio piece over that, and then you say you're done, okay? And then it goes to Screencast-O-Matic, and it says, do you want to publish it straight to YouTube, or publish it to Screencast-O-Matic itself, or to a video file? So plenty of output opportunities. What's nice about publish to Screencast-O-Matic, though, is it allows you to do additional things. It allows you to put captions on it with time delay, so you can put captions in to say, If it was words, or you know, for people who are deaf, that you could be providing a full script for people also. You could also be providing notes. Notes float over the top of the content, whereas captions are physically stuck underneath the content, like you would see on telly. Okay, so you would say, I'm going to call this 1 + 1. 1 plus 1. All right. And then you could just upload it. Sorry, if I wanted to add a captions file, I can just choose a file. I don't have one created here, actually, I forgot. So that's on the other one. I could just add a note, and see here, this is where in the notes, and I would specify after 5 seconds, right, say, what would have happened after 5 seconds? The answer is question mark or something, anyway. And then I'd just add another note. So I'm specifying the times according to how it plays as to where those notes will appear. Okay, I might need to have provided more space above and below here, because notes, when they appear at the very bottom area, so I might have needed to set my region a bit bigger. Okay, and then I'll just play that. I'm not sure if it'll play with the note on it. But if I play it, you'll see this is how it will play when it's fully published. You'll see the scroll effect on it also. All right, go on. All right. So there, I didn't set my region right, and I would just publish that. Okay. So if I upload that to Screencast-O-Matic, it uploads it very quickly, and I can have a lot of different videos up there. So if you're an expert out there and you think you have a captive audience for what your knowledge is on the internet, it's really quite easy to do this stuff, and I'm only doing 1 + 1 because that's what I'm expert at. Okay, so that's that tool there as well, and I'm going to go back to my slides and just talk about some other stuff. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to talk about Web 2 in the classroom now as well, and sure, you know, this is an education audience predominantly, so a lot of schools here, is there, or universities? Yes? No? Okay, if you're school, put your hand up. Okay, just wanted to know. Okay, thanks. So I was at the BETS conference, a big education conference in London there in January, and so they had a challenge, and there was a case study there which I thought was interesting myself, just around a particular group of boys in an all-boys school, year 3, who had some challenges around using descriptive words and using descriptive words, using adjectives, and strategic writing, what's called strategic writing. The issue was known within the school. Parents were saying a number of different things about them. The kids were all sporty and all good, and that's fine. But they just weren't engaging with books and words the way that they maybe needed to or should do, and looking at ways of how they could be engaged. So I'm going to go into Storybird. How are we doing time-wise? Because I can move fast on this one. Okay. Okay, so Storybird is an application which is for use in class for kids to work off some standard storyboard art that is provided to them in a particular, in many different styles. Okay, so if I were to choose to create a storybird or a storyboard, okay, effectively what the kids would be doing is that they would be creating books and stories which have many different art themes in them. If I choose something along this theme here, okay, all right, and I could say, okay, start a storyboard with this art. I'll show you one I did earlier actually, but just so you can see the range of art and how this works. Hello? Come on. quite slow. Sorry. So with this, then they can choose from a range of art. They can build up pages in a book. Okay. They can play their story. And so there's lots of resources in them for them to build in here for them to build up their story, okay? And then they have to put in descriptions in the text area here as to what's actually happening in the picture. So the kids are doing this. They're also choosing what themes they want to work with, whether boys might be robots or sport or stuff like that, but it can be anything. So they're given, I suppose, a game to play, but also to apply some language skills to fully describe maybe what's happening in the picture. And if they are working with the art, then they go over here, and this is where all the pictures are, and they might sort the pictures just to see, well, which ones would I use, and I'll take that one, but I won't be using that one. I really like that one, so I'll keep that down here. And they might just move pictures off in that area while they're arranging and thinking about what their story might be and getting ideas on it. Same on this side. And they effectively work through their story by adding new pages here and dragging pictures in and adding text to each picture. Okay? So if I were to return to home here, okay, and look at a published storyboard here, okay, and then just play this one. I'm choosing it there. Okay, Johnny's birthday. Oh, so I wrote this one, sorry. Anyway, it's quite easy to do. He likes playing football, and he's got 2 footballs or something like that, and impressing some girls. But in the experiment, if you like, or sorry, in the trial in the Somerset area in the UK, the kids went through and used Storybird, and you know, they basically chose their themes and worked with the different pictures and put in descriptions of them. The spellings aren't great here, but that's not the point. The point is that they're using adjectives and they're describing things, and so they're thinking more about how to describe things and how to use language to describe things. So it's good to see that, and that they are motivated to do that because of the good pictures, and just using the internet is cool anyway, okay? Strategic writing would be for where they're building up a story, seeing a start, a middle and an end. And how do they apply that then to the pictures that they've got to use? So this is all Web 2 technologies, and it's worked very well and very successfully, and Storybird is one application that I chose just to show the impact that Web 2 can have in the classroom. So the kids themselves, they enjoy the multimedia aspects, combine them with text and graphics, and found the artwork stimulating, and were well motivated. And the parents sometimes gave a bit too much help, but you know, the kids really enjoyed it. So you know, it's how to integrate it, how to identify the problem, and also measure the improvements. But you know, an application like that can be a very useful aid within the classroom, and just one that I chose to show here. So I'm going to just move into the final section here, and just apps for iPads, and just take a final drop here. iPads are generally just used in the education space, I mean, and in the home space. Not so much used in the corporate space yet, and there's kind of a reason for that, and it's a bit of a technology reason. I think that's on the next slide. It is on the next slide, yeah. So lots of different applications for content. Mostly applications are programmed pieces of content that are sitting together, and maybe they're animated, but they're pretty much programs. And Apple recently have announced the iBooks Author application. I think it's a new version. You know, to allow teachers to create their own books for classes, and there's schools now in Ireland who are, you know, having some of the teachers maybe put their own notes in, so that the books would be available in the teacher's notes form You know, I think that's happening anyway. But this iBooks author application seems to be quite a big thing for the teaching space, because they will be able to produce so much content, and there's a lot of free books there available through the application. So I'm sure you're aware of that and what the iPad is doing. But this new iBooks author version, I think, is going to make some big differences to how the iPad will come into the classroom, and hopefully replace the heavy school bag too. Okay, but iPads and e-learning on the corporate side, there's been this battle, I suppose. Steve Jobs early on didn't like Flash. Flash is the animation rendering code form language, if you like, that is used for delivering animation and some fancy art that can often reinforce some learning points. It's embedded into a lot of e-learning content that's out there, and because of that, and it not being supported on Apple devices at all, whether it's Macs or iPads or iPhones, the delivery of traditional e-learning, Flash-based e-learning, has been a challenge. Now, there are some Flash-based programs that will run on the iPad, but they're not supported by Apple, and so corporates are still maybe a bit reluctant, because Apple say no, we don't support Flash on these devices anyway. So up and coming is a new version. Well, you know, it's here already, HTML5, and so a lot of content that would be going for the corporate space will probably go into a HTML5 format. So I would guard against creating content with any Flash-based authoring tools, but that's not to say that you wouldn't, that there won't be some options still to be able to deliver that on the Apple in the long term. But that has been a major stumbling block for being able to deliver corporate e-learning, and maybe why the iPad is much more successful in the education space than what it has grabbed so far in the corporate learning space. That said, because of the education space and my own background, you know, I'm currently, you know, with my consultancy, I'm also doing learning technologies management with ICEP Europe, the Institute of Child Education and Psychology. We do a lot of CPD training in special needs for kids. And it's in the special needs area that, you know, I particularly see, you know, how the iPad is making such a difference to kids who are in schools and maybe challenged with some of the speed at which they can actually keep up with some of their classmates because of some learning needs that they have. And in that way, the apps are making such a difference, because you can have them work with some applications there that will help them communicate more clearly, and even record some classes, be able to replay those classes and just move through the content really quite, or you know, keep up with the class in a better way. So there is an application here, iBuild app. This one isn't. It's actually a free application for you to be able to build your own app. And what's nice about it is it's WYSIWYG, you know, because a lot of WYSIWYG, as in what you see is what you get. They will they show you the screens, and maybe I'll just try and log into it here. Okay. www.ibuildapp.com. Okay, because traditionally creating apps and anything that's quite a complex app, you know, probably needs to be coded. But a lot of applications are information apps, okay, effectively made up of pages. And so what iBuild app gives you is the ability to create your own app, okay? Now, to be able to publish an app to the iTunes store, you have to do a one-off $99 payment, okay? Now, that's not to iBuild app, that's actually to Apple to be allowed to publish. But once you've done that, you can publish as many apps as you like, okay? So get the school to pay that, and then you can publish any number you like rather than doing it individually. So, web apps, have I got them? I don't think it kept my app, actually. very slow. Native iPad. There, okay. Apps preview. Okay, sorry. So I was just using this, and we have used this before for other apps, but this is pretty basic. It's just 4 different pages here at the moment, just information pages. And you can create, I'll just close the preview. So if I were to choose to create an app here, okay, go into create an app, okay, I can choose to create a native iPad app and click continue, okay. Okay, and then there's a number of different templates that it gives you for how you may want to present your content, all web page content together in an app, and so I could choose this template here, okay. So effectively this is for the landscape view, and I can just call it ICS Grid 1, say, okay. Okay, and create. Okay, and then it gives me the opportunity then to add a logo in. I can browse to a logo, put the logo in, and then add new pages. Okay, so I can add a second page. Okay, and load an image onto that page. Minimum 4 pages, I think, is what is is required for it to be considered a full app, because they consider it not to be an app if you don't have. It seems to be anyway on this site that if you don't have 4 pages, they won't let you publish it. Okay, but if you go into the publishing, sorry, I should have done this beforehand, but if I go into my apps and go in here and do app publishing, okay, this is where you would publish the app. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Sorry, I'm just showing it there as creating pages with content on it. Those pages could have news feeds, they could have maps and locations to your business, to your school, okay? And those pages could contain, more complicated HTML or JavaScript code that you may want to execute in the browser. So, be capturing data, for example. But if you wanted to be able to publish the app and be able to share it then through the stores, you would have to go through this. If you go through the free option here, you will be charged $99 once off from Apple to get that license. But you move through that process, they will issue a certificate, and you can then publish that app and actually have it on the store that others can use it and download it to their iPad devices. And maybe that's the way that you would distribute some assignments or some other information or applications for the students in the schools themselves. So that would be the process for that, and iBuild app allows you to do that for free once you've paid Apple that $99. Okay, and now I'm coming just to the end. So a bit of a range of stuff there. It's kind of an e-learning miscellany, like I said. I've covered a couple of tools there. Sorry about one of those recorders there. I don't know why it wouldn't load there, but with what you saw on Screen-O-Matic, the other recorder would do the same thing. And there's a range of them out there, and I've just given you a couple that would be the leading ones. So that would be it from me. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them. Okay. Thank you.